Hey Kevin, out here at 8207 Mainsail. Sean just left the property. It's very nice to meet your friend. Very nice guy. So this property is definitely nice. It's got much bigger backyard than it does, much bigger front yard than it does backyard, as you can see. Now this lot in between the two houses is a separate lot. So I'm not sure if the owner might be interested in selling in the future. Doesn't look like there's any plans there right now, but I'd hate for you to purchase it and someone build right next to you. Do have some mature landscaping. Now I've asked about the age of the roof. It's definitely a little bit older, but I'm not seeing any leaks or any lifted shingles. Sean and I went up into the attic space, so we'll pop up there as well to give you a little look. Yeah, kind of mature landscaping. You can see that little bit discoloration there on the shingles coming down that ridge, which leads me to believe it's a little bit older. I don't think it's a 20-year-old roof, but I'm expecting probably 10 years. All the brickwork looks good here. Just needs a little pressure wash. Yeah, let's go inside. So overall, this home is more move-in ready than a lot that we've looked at. It didn't have much negative to point out. Just a couple little spots on the floor I'll show you. A little bit of drywall tape in that corner there. Yeah, you kind of enter into this. It's almost like a living room you enter in before you get to the main living room here. And you can see there's just tons of area. They got 2 different dining tables. Yeah, tons of space. Kind of walk around to the kitchen. Lots of cabinet space. Granite counters. Electric stove top. Needs a little bit of cleaning. And then kind of back around to this living area. So you also got a laundry room that's right off the front door here. You got vinyl floors in here. A couple built-ins. And this room probably needs some paint. Most of the other rooms, the paint looks pretty much flawless. But yeah, you can see, this is all original to the house, 92. And then kind of back out into that kitchen area. This wall right here is kind of a textured paint. It's a little like gritty. So kind of unique. All right, let's start with these bedrooms over here. Kind of been showing you the main areas. So as you come into this little foyer here, this is a nice wide one. It's probably 5 foot wide at least. You got big doors. Big fiberglass tub. Got tile work. Nice tile on the floor. So this room they're using as an office. one of the 3 bedrooms. Walk-in closet. These are Bella wood, engineered hardwoods. We found some extra upstairs. This carpet in this bedroom looks pretty new as well. And again, overall, I don't have much negative to say about the condition of this one. They seem to have taken really good care of it. So this is just kind of a standard closet, a little bit deeper than you'd see on most homes, but it's not a walk-in. Probably 3 foot deep. A little bit of trim work there. Could be tightened up. Yeah, windows galore. I kind of looked around the windows. I'm not seeing any water damage or anything like that. All right, let's pop over to the master. Some tile work there in the kitchen. But lots of cabinets in this kitchen. Okay, to the primary. So obviously a little bit bigger. It's showing up a little bit darker on my phone screen than it is here in person. It's almost more of a periwinkle, lighter bluish purple. You got new carpet in here. You got the big 24 by 24 tiles in the bathroom. I like these wood cabinets too. But yeah, no damage I can see in here. Fully tiled shower. This tile might not be to taste, but it does look like they did a pretty good job on it. Little water closet there. And then the walk-in. Got a nice tile in here. A couple little paint scuffs up here on the ceiling. Little nail pop there. And this is a mirror. Interesting. Good use of space. All right. So I did want to show you the one thing that me and Sean noticed. I'm not sure if you can see it from here. About right there where the camera's pointing, it's a little bit higher. You can see that bigger gap there. So we went up under the house. There is a girder running right here. And then you have the floor joist going back this way. Sorry, I'm not sure if you saw that girder this way, floor joist this way. So this is where that girder's sitting. It's a little bit higher. And you can see that gap there. A little stress crack there, so. I mean, it's not anything that, you know, we noticed necessarily by walking on it. It's pretty flat, but you can definitely see it. And then once you're on top of it, you know, you can feel this girder is really solid. This girder is not moving. So I think that there's just been a little bit of sag on the floor joist. Over the years, this is where that other girder is. So you can kind of see right here, a little bit bigger gap. And then you have a 12-foot span to that next girder. So we've kind of talked about this before, you know, if you want to come into level floors, it's going to be very difficult to do outside of, you know, rebuilding the subfloor. I don't think it's enough to warrant changing anything, but, you know, just want to point these things out. You can kind of see right here, you know, this is where that girder would be. There's a little bit more of a gap right there on that baseboard. So not a whole lot of movement, but, you know, maybe a 1/4 inch. Okay, let's check out the garage. Again, laundry room. So garage smells dry. Overall in good condition. Not seeing any water leaks. I mean, even the walls are typically more scuffed up for a garage. You know, there's a couple little spots, but. We'll pop up to the attic real quick. Got a little bit of cobwebs up here. Overall, it looked dry up here. There's a couple of rafters back kind of behind this one that had a little bit of discoloration. It didn't look like enough where it, you know, was water damage or a leak or anything, but just a little bit of discoloration on some of those beams, which you can probably see some there too. You know, they're just a little bit older. That ridge cap does look good. We did see one cockroach up there at the top that had gotten in, you know, somewhere in that ridge cap. There's a little bit of a gap. Yeah, overall, you got that blow-in insulation. But, you know, no major flags up here in the attic as far as I'm concerned. All right, pop out to the side here. Now, I know this lot line comes and kind of angles off this way a little bit, but it may be smart to get a survey, you know, at least a boundary survey, so you know exactly where the lot lines are. You know, matter of fact, as I'm sitting here, there's a stake right there. So I'm assuming that is going to be the property line right here. And if I turn around and get back out towards the road, you know, it might even come over a little bit further where that grass is. And then that stake's right back there. So there's that stake again. So, I mean, you do have a good size side yard still. This home has more of a side yard than a backyard, I would say. Now the crawl space has been encapsulated. Looks very good up under there. We did see some sign of some black, you know, mildew growth, or, you know, could possibly be mold from before they encapsulated it. But I felt it, and it's all dry now. But you see what I mean about that roof? You know, it's got a little bit of age on it, but I think you can get 5 to 10 more years out of it. Needs a little bit of cleaning on these windows back here. It's probably possible to clear out a little bit more back here too if you wanted more of a backyard. Sean and I, we open this up. If you give me just a second, I'll open this up again. Show you that cross base. This cross base was done by Tar Heel Basement Systems. It's one of the bigger name brands around here, and they are not cheap. You know, I've seen quotes $15,000, $20,000 for this work that they've done up under here. There's the dehumidifier. Pop in here just a little bit. And then if I try to back that way, you can see some of that, you know, black growth. You know, that had to be before that dehumidifier went in. And so we basically figured, you know, you got a girder over here by this wall. You know, you probably got an 8-inch span before you got more beams. So wherever these piers are, you know, they're running down that way. That's where you have the girder, where you can see that floor is not moving. That's the high spot on the floor. Yeah, it's clean down here. It's probably 65 degrees. You know, overall it's a very good looking crawl space. Now Sean, he kind of crawled back through here a little bit. He did say there was a couple of floor joists that were kind of discolored. I felt them and poked at them a little bit, and they weren't soft at all. You know, so I don't know if before they had this dehu down here, you know, they were probably getting some moisture issues. You know, we're pretty close to Carolina Beach, so. I'll come back and close that up. So there's that, the office. Got a big old HVAC unit. This one, February 2019. So it should have plenty of life left on that. Right here, you got some irrigation valves. And back out to the front. Yeah, overall, very nice home, Kevin. You know, the floors are, you know, my only concern for you, and it's a small concern. You know, I think they're definitely livable. But, you know, I'll let you guys decide and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.